Okay, and we're back. Everybody's here?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
brilliant.
here.
Well done. Okay, good. Well done. So we're going to go on, and the way numerology fits in with past lives is very, very neat. They really do go hand in glove. What we're going to do next, you're going to meet your inner child, and then you're going to do your past life regression. And meeting your inner child can be quite emotional, so that's why you need your tissues. And then you're going to choose three people now who you like, or I said to do that before. Find three people. Oh, good. You're getting all ready, Gwen. Well done. She's getting all relaxed. Exactly. You can get cozy, comfy, etc. So choose three people you want to know more about the relationship you had in previous lifetimes. What happens is the unconscious mind will take you there if it's important. If it's not, it'll completely ignore you. So as you do a past life, what you do is you actually, your unconscious mind gives you examples of past lives that you need to also change this time. So it might give you a past life which is fabulous, and you need to copy that, do the same thing again. Or it might give you a past life when were in a relationship where you felt trapped or in prison, and you have to go, how am I imprisoning myself that now? So it's always giving you messages. I used to do like 10 past lives, and I found it was just the same example every single time. So what happened was, in the end, I just kind of got it to three. You know, within three lives, exactly what lesson that your unconscious mind needs to teach you. Okay. Now, if you want to go onto YouTube, there's some really interesting past life stories about reincarnation, 9/11, not 9/11, the kids in reincarnation. There's a whole group of videos on the ghost inside my child. And it talks about the children who are remembering who they were in previous lifetimes. Usually it's at about 5 years old, about 5 or 6 years old, the kids start talking about their previous lives. And most parents just go, oh, yeah, that's a nice story, darling. And they don't realize if they just listened, they would hear a lot of interesting stories. Okay. I had, when Katie was about, gosh, 3 maybe, we moved into a new house, and there was a beautiful fireplace. And she said, we're not having a fire. We're not having a fire. No fire, no fire. And I'm like, but it's two beautiful fireplaces. We want to like have a wonderful fireplace. She's like, no, no fire, no fire, no fire, no fire, mommy. And she would not have anything to do with me putting the fire in. And I said, come on, let's just, nope, we're not having a fire. No, no. And in the end, I said, what is it that's making it? Why are you so scared of fire? She said, you know, mom, it's that country where they say hola. And I said, Spain. And she said, yes. She said, I went to the market with my nanny and came back, and there was a big fire. My mommy and my brother were killed. And I was like, what? It's like you'll go, what the heck? And she talked about it for about 2 days, told me the whole story. She had details. She was absolutely petrified about it. And then suddenly, it was about a week later, she said, can we have a fire, Mom? Why wouldn't we have had a fire here? I want a fire. And it was gone completely. So it is a good way to get over phobias. However, we don't want to go into the phobia. With NLP and hypnosis, far better ways to do it. With past life regression, you do need emotions to be felt. With hypnosis, with NLP, with any of the therapies that we do, we're not searching for emotions. We're happy they're there, and we'll talk about them, and we'll actually clear them. But we don't want someone to feel emotional. We want, like talk therapy gets into, let's get you angry, let's get you sad, let's talk about the pain. Let's not do that, because it's going to lock it in the body even further. The statistics are 600 sessions of talk therapy gets you 28% of results. Not a great result at all. Maybe talk to your friends to save you money. However, with the past life regression, it's the only one where I actually want emotions to show up, because otherwise it just feels like you're making it up. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that it doesn't matter if you make it up. But I'm happy if you make it up, because you'll still get the same message. Okay. And it's very, very interesting that the message is clear, really clear, as soon as you get that. What happens with people who are auditory digital, or people who don't have very, very good at seeing things inside, the auditory people are the auditory digital people, you'll tend to not see things, but you'll experience it. So we want those emotions to be there. And they'll say when they're working with you, it just feels like I'm making it up. That's fine, make it up, because it's still the same message from your unconscious mind, whatever happens. So let's talk a little bit about past lives. Yeah, I've given you a lot of material in here that we don't need to go through. There are three possibilities here. Are past lives real or imagined? Page 21. So the positive, there are three main theories: the positivist or the tabula rasa, the blank slate position. So what the positivist said is that in actual fact, you don't remember your past lives because you were born and then you have experiences and you make up stories as you go along. They also said that Bridey Murphy, there was a real interesting guy who was called, what was his name? I can't remember now. He was a doctor anyway, and he actually, he took a lady into her past lives spontaneously, and she was a housewife, and she actually said she was called Bridey Murphy. She was called Virginia Teague, the housewife, and he started doing work with her, and she spontaneously went into a past life of her being Bridey Murphy in Ireland in the 1860s or 70s, and that was when the potato famine happened. So of course, most of Ireland kind of emigrated everywhere. So they couldn't find records of it, but he wrote a book about it. Bernstein, his name was Dr. Bernstein. And he actually wrote a book and it became wildly popular and started the interest in past lives in the West. So it was mid 1900s. What happened with the positivists, they said, oh no, she had an Irish nanny when she was 3, so she must have picked up stories from her. Right. And the thing is, it doesn't explain how you remember before you were born. And the interesting thing is, there's a most amazing book called, it's Thomas Vernet, The Secret Life of the Unborn Child. He did research. I've done 40 years of listening to what people go through in the womb. It's amazing. They know if the mother's afraid. They know if what's going on outside. They know if they're coming in. And if you work through it, I usually work through it a couple of times. And then what happens is I end up always with them being excited to come into life. Right. So it's very important that you clear that birth trauma before you do the past life regression, because then otherwise it's going to take you where you might not necessarily need to go. The great memory position. Yeah, Joan was a really good woman for that. Joan Grant, she called it far memory. And she said what it was is you're really going into the far memory of humanity and picking up examples that you can use for yourself, which is fine. And of course, Carl Jung said the same thing, that when you experience a past life regression, you're tuning into the collective unconscious. You're tuning into the story of other people who went through things that's similar to what you're going through, and you use that as an example. So you may have a past life where you were in prison, and then you come out of that and you think, where am I imprisoning myself in my life today? So it literally tells you, gives you good indications. Before I had a child, every single past life I did was around children. No children, millions of children, dying in childbirth, having kids killed in front of me. It was all about children. The second I had my own child, and I was really old, I was 42 when I had her, I've never had a past life anything to do with children since. It was like it got resolved, right? And once something's resolved in any kind of therapy, remember, all therapy is a parts integration. We're bringing the parts back home. Suddenly you're into a whole different experience where you really don't need that information anymore. You don't keep it in your head. Okay. So the reincarnation position, that's all over the world. Most people believe in reincarnation. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. We are in the age of Aquarius. So what happens is, and people say, is this my last incarnation? No, it's not. You're all, unless you're a God or Jesus or something else, which you're not likely to be this lifetime, you're going to have another few lifetimes at least. You're going to have to learn some more lessons. Here's the thing, the more lessons we all learn, the more humanity's vibration is raised. And if you look at the last 2,000 years, it was the era of Pisces, when from Jesus 0 right the way to the year 2000 was the era of Pisces. 2,000 years Pisces, which is transport by boat. It was actually using the God, the priest, the people. We had to go through someone else to talk to God. And of course, Jesus started the Age of Pisces, which is about communication. And then we went into the cusp period in 1966, 67. And that was when the Vietnam War happened, remember? And that was when everybody said, you know what, why are we fighting these people? Can we not just not do that? And it was the first time people had actually said, no, I'm not going to fight. It's not my job. It's not my war. Okay. And of course, it was the years of the flower power, children. I remember giving flowers out in the park, and, you know, peace and love, all that kind of thing. It literally started this whole movement of people moving towards communication. And that 33 years from 1967 to 2000, an amazing amount of technology changed. The internet came in 1985. The Berlin Wall came down. Russia became different. It's literally, we put a man on the moon. It was literally that whole 33 years it's called a cusp period, rather, when you're having a child and you go into that transition period. And then in 2012, that's when we're truly in the age of Pisces. So it wasn't the ending of the calendar, the Mayan calendar, as I said, it was the true beginning of the age of Aquarius. As we come into Aquarius, it's about mental travel. It's about travel through the air. It's about the internet. It's about by the people, for the people, knowing that we can each help each other. The one thing that I loved about the whole Aquarius idea was the what do they call them? The dances where people just jumped into dancing or jumped into music all over the world. What was the name for that? The flash mobs, right? When they did the flash dances and the flash singing. I love that, because in the old days, you didn't know that the Chinese were like this or the Africans were like this or whatever. You just had to believe what everybody else told you. Suddenly we could see that we were all the same. We all had the same desires. We all had the same values and needs. It was, to me, that was the best thing that ever happened. That we could actually see that these were real people who were just like us. Amazing. And of course, we're truly in the age of Aquarius right now. We're still going through, we're still trying to bring different countries into the age of Aquarius. And, you know, like in anything, you always get people who are not willing to kind of join in. Eventually, it will work. Remember, it's 2,000 years of Aquarius. So we're still in that transition period. It's a brilliant time to be alive. It really is good time to be alive. It's magic. You know, we had the Blu-ray children and the other children coming in the 90s who were going to change the world. The Hopi Indians had a legend that said, in the time of need of the planet, there would be 100,000 souls born with the flags furled, with the flags open and the swords unfurled. They would come in for peace and joy. And that's literally what's been happening. It's been absolutely amazing to watch and very nice to be involved with as well. Even things like the GoFundMe. Who would have thought 40 years ago that GoFundMe would be a major way of raising money for people who needed help? A magical thing to do, right? Really, really, it is. I love the way the world's going. And, you know, these people say, oh, you know, kids these days. The kids these days are fantastic. You talk to them, they know way more than we did, right? And our children will know more than us, and et cetera, right? So very, very importantly, we're going to really, really open up to new ideas, new sensations. I've put on page 22, why do we need to study our past lives? Because over many lifetimes, we've developed wonderful skills and insights, successful or not. By studying our past lives, we can rediscover hidden talents and begin to change and rectify old patterns. Often simply by remembering the past, old patterns are instantly released. How can this help me to achieve happiness and success? The key to success is knowing where you're not strong and changing it. Being unaware enables people to keep on playing the role of the victim. But sometimes things just happen to me. Not true. The laws of the universe are very logical. Your belief patterning attracts events, positive or not positive, to help you become an empowered individual who can help others. And I do believe we have two jobs this lifetime. The first job is to work on yourself. The second job is, when you've worked on yourself and discovered who you are, then you can help other people work on them. So it's like a two-tiered job, really. what will happen, what will I experience during the regression? It depends how deep you want to go. You can use it just as a meditation, or you can use it as a deeper tool for growth. All of you will be getting my past life regression CD, MP3 in now. You'll get a link and you can listen to it, and I'll leave space so that you can start to make your stories up in your head. So it's actually a really good MP3. What if I see or feel nothing? Your unconscious mind will do the work anyway. You'll probably have interesting dreams for a week or two. Okay. Maybe I'm making this up. That's fine. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist, believed we're all in tune with the collective unconscious, the vast storehouse of humanity's memories that we can tune into in order to use others' experience for our own benefit, rather like the Akashic records of the spiritualists, a kind of videotape library where all memories are stored. How many past lives have I had? As many as you can remember. It's taken hundreds of thousands of years to become the wonderful person you are today. Someone told me that this is my last incarnation on Earth. Could this be true? The answer is no. Sorry. You're like, no. Can I change my karma? Yes, you can. Because karma is simply the law of cause and effect. Should you choose to react and not react, you bind yourself to that person until one of you lets go. Okay. Why don't we remember our past lives? Yes, you do. Children between the ages of 2 and 5 often remember previous lives. The new personality is integrated and then the memories slip away. Lots of parents experience it, and you need to be listening to what they say. Children have a natural belief in the oneness and justice of the universe. Listen to them carefully. You'll see how deeply, and you'll hear how deeply they think about things. So where we're going to start is this. I want you to start to think quickly, because what happens when you think quickly, you're going straight through to your unconscious mind. Sorry. Okay, that'll work. Okay, screen sharing stopped. Good. What happens is I want you to think very, very fast. When you start thinking, was I a man or a woman? Oh, I don't know, because I do have these clothes on, and that shouldn't be there. If you're in your thinking mind, you're not going to do past life regression. You need to be really fast. The first thing that comes into your head, first thing that comes into your head. So I always do this little exercise first. I always say, we're going to do this exercise real fast, so you can write it down just as fast as you can. Think of the first country that comes into your head, write it down. Got it? Then the date, and I usually say, what century is it? Because then people will automatically go back into the past. What century is it and what date? I want an exact date, guys. So 1666 or 1921, an exact date. Male or female? Just choose one, male or female, write it down. How old are you? The first number that comes into your head. Are you rich, poor, or somewhere in between? Are you married or single? Circle 1. What kind of work do you do? And do you live in a countryside, town, village, riverside, desert, jungle, seaside, or other? Cool. So we're going to go through quickly, and I'm going to show you how the past life stuff works. Lorna's not here. Deborah, ready? You there?
Yes.
Good. So Deborah, what country was it?
Norway.
What date?
February 13th, 1677.
Even better, right? Male or female?
Male.
How old were you?
60.
Rich, poor, or somewhere in between?
Rich.
Are you married or single?
Married.
What kind of work did you do?
I'm a banker.
Banker, and where were you living?
In the city.
Right. That's how fast we need to be thinking. What did you do well that lifetime?
Financial success.
What didn't you do so well? What could you have done better at?
A family.
Exactly. So hence, this lifetime, your unconscious mind is saying, I would like you to work on relationships, please. Surprise. I know, isn't it interesting? So, your unconscious mind absorbs 2 million pieces of information every second. It can do it faster than the speed of light. And that's why we need to be in the unconscious mind, because that's got direct connection with the universal source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. Very good. So let's have Michelle. What country? Oh, you need to unmute yourself. I can't hear. You need to unmute. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, England. And it was,
England?
I
What day?
thought of 1463, I was male, about 15, probably poor. I was just a young kid.
Mhm.
I worked as a farmhand. I worked on a farm, country, and I didn't treat the animals well.
Oh, interesting.
It was a huge, and it because
Also,
this
you're
life
my
I've
time.
been I've been rescuing animals. I foster animals. So
Exactly.
I just went, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
learned the value of life beyond just human. And
Correct.
I did enjoy the peace of the country and the solitude and being outdoors. I loved that. And I still love that.
Good. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. What didn't you do well as that young man?
I also I wasn't curious.
You weren't curious. Did you have good relationships?
It didn't matter. I was just I was like one of the farm animals. I really didn't have anything to do with anything. Like
Right.
there was kind of no thing. It was just a subs I
Yeah,
just existed.
exactly. And that's a young soul. So now you're an
Yeah.
old soul. You know, there's a big different picture now. Cool.
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah.
I want you to get how logical it is from this, right? It's really
Yeah.
very, very interesting. Carol?
I'm here. Hello. Okay.
Go on.
Okay, so country was Africa, Cape Town, 1767, July 17th. I'm a male, I'm 45. I'm doing financially well. I'm single. I'm a lawyer, and I'm in this, yeah, that's it so far.
Okay. And what did you do well that lifetime?
What did I do well? Not much, other than being a lawyer.
Okay. So you just practical down to earth, got on with it.
That's it.
What didn't you do well that lifetime?
Relationship.
Surprise.
I didn't want to be married. I didn't want a relationship. Maybe, yeah.
That lifetime, did you have children?
No.
Okay. So this was really important this lifetime to have children, be a good mom, and you are. I know you are. And again, back to relationships. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Wow.
Jim.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Country, America. Date 6/18/1889. Male, 28. Married. Rich rancher, countryside.
Okay. And what date was it?
June 18th, 1889.
Okay, I think so. Perfect. So what did you do well that lifetime?
Took care of the animals well. Took care of the business well.
Okay. And what didn't you do well that lifetime?
Share with other people.
Oh, interesting. That's why you're going into that higher value. This lifetime, it's like needing to look at the big picture and start to really, make a difference. Excellent. Yeah, it really gives you some really good guidance about how to move forward, doesn't it? It's amazing. Good job. Chris? Chris, are you with us? Yeah.
Yes, I was just trying to unmute. France, July 2nd, 1820.
Yeah.
Female, 24, rich, single, crusader, which I don't even know what it is my job.
Okay.
And I lived in the village. And what did I do well? I helped others. And what could I have done differently or better? Talk to more people.
Yeah. So that's exactly what you're doing this lifetime and doing it very well.
What is a crusader?
It would be fighting for causes.
All right, that's what I do for health and wellness.
Exactly. So you are repeating that lifetime beautifully. Well done. You're doing exactly it's pointing you in this is how you started, this is how you go on. Good, you're going to doing a good job. Excellent, actually. Well done. Michonne?
Okay. I was in Belgium, March of 1663. I was a male, 26 years old, rich. I was single.
Mm-hmm.
I was a prince,
Okay,
and I lived in a village.
good. What did you do well that lifetime?
Swordsmanship,
Okay,
public
So-
figure.
so you learned a skill set.
Yeah, it's weird.
What else did you do well? Did you do any good for people being a prince? Did you use your influence?
I was well loved. I circulated, just like worked with the people.
Social butterfly.
Sociable, exactly. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing this lifetime. And literally it says, be the princess up there, be the queen. Okay, what didn't you do well that lifetime?
I didn't get married. I didn't commit.
Okay, and you've done well this lifetime because you've done that.
Working on it.
So literally you're following your life path beautifully. Well done. Good job. Roxanne?
New York, February 12th, 1820,
Mm-hmm.
singer and dancer, became a choreographer,
Wow.
not married, living in High Cotton. What I did well was have fun. What I did not do well
Oh,
and
What you need
invested in my
to-
skills.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly what you need this lifetime to go and have fun. It's like you've not got fun. You've got to take life seriously this time then.
and what I did poorly was relationships.
Okay, so you're working on relationships again, but the big indication there is you need to just go and let loose a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's giving you a clear indication of what to do. Excellent. Gwen?
So I actually got Canada and then I got Quebec. 1825, January 20th. Female, 28. In the middle for finances.
Mhm.
Single. For what I did, I actually just got homemade food. And I felt like I was actually preparing it for others.
Okay.
Lived by the seaside, by the water. I was really good with children, and I got that I didn't work well with others.
Oh, interesting. So teamwork.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's it. I think that was a conscious thought, not an unconscious thought, because I always do kind of work well with teams.
Now you do.
Oh, because I do. Gotcha.
Exactly. Exactly. You learned the lesson finally. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why you had to learn to work with teams is because you weren't good in previous lifetimes. But get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving you an example of what to repeat and what to change. And you've done both those beautifully.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jake? You with us?
Yeah.
Good.
So I got Spain, 1669, male, well off, 35, married, was a warrior, in the city. Strength was leadership and weakness was, communication.
Okay. So leadership is not an issue for you this lifetime. You've repeated that beautifully. Communication is an issue. Right? So it's not that it's an issue, it's just that you need to learn how to communicate more empathetically. Because remember, as a warrior, you would have been a fighter. So in other words, it's a lifetime not to fight, to learn how to be much more diplomatic, to learn how to, listen to people and just go with it rather than be too rigid in your thinking. Okay, good job, well done. So you're doing good as well. Excellent. Yoshia?
Yes. Albania, 1819, June 18th.
Mhm.
And I was 19 years old. Then married with family, have 7 kids. I was a housemaker, and I did a good job on caring for family, but I was not independent.
Right. So big time, this is saying you have to be your own person and be independent this time.
Mhm.
You've repeated all the other stuff very nicely, but that's the one to learn. Good job. And Penny.
I got Canada, which kind of surprised me because I always think Canada is not my sweet place. But anyway, so I was Canada. It was March 25th, 1600. I was
Yeah.
a female. I was 20 years old. I was rich and married, and I was not happily married. It was a much older guy. I was a housewife in the countryside. So what
Yeah.
I did well is I was a mother. I was very social. I was very outspoken, and I wasn't submissive. And so I fought stereotypes, and I felt oppressed.
Right. So this lifetime you chose independence. And that's why relationships wouldn't be great, because you needed to find who you were before you went into the relationship, right?
Yeah, which is so funny because I mean, I was married. I had an extremely, comfortable lifestyle.
Mhm.
Older man, but it was, I
Yeah.
chose a different life path.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you chose it, you were not happy then, right? In that lifetime. So that was showing you this will not make you happy if you repeat that.
Mhm.
What you've done is gone the opposite way, and you're much happier as a result. That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay, fabulous, guys. So I always do that really quickly at the beginning, because people kind of think, well, I made it up. It doesn't matter if you made it up. It really doesn't, because honestly, you'll get the same examples given every time. Okay. It's a clear way to find out what is it that you need to improve on, and it will match up with your numerology beautifully. Okay. So we are going to start with your inner child. Now you can get cozy, comfy. Sit back, get your cushions ready to close your eyes. Okay, all good? And I'm going to ask you what gifts you get. Please don't answer. Make sure you're all on mute, because we don't need an answer. When you get the MP3, you can listen to it again and you'll get different answers. So I'm going to leave a little space for you to say what gift you get, what's the lesson to learn, etc. Okay? So go ahead and find yourself in a beautiful sandy beach by a lake of dreams. As you stroll along, feel the warmth of the sand as it runs between your toes. Feel your whole body relax as the sun shines on your face and the wind blows in your hair. Listen to the rustle of the leaves in the trees. There may be the sound of birds. Smell the scent of pine trees brought to you by the breeze. Observe the blue water, blue sky, a sky which seems to go on forever. Yellow sun, yellow sand, green trees at the back of the beach. Find yourself totally relaxing as you experience a sense of calmness and peace. The beautiful sunlight warms your whole body. Just let go. Back over the years, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11 years old, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. As you walk along, become aware of a small child playing on the beach. Walk over to that little child and kneel down beside them. And you're surprised to notice that the child is you when you were 5 years old. Ask the child what they need from you. It's usually a very simple answer: love, a hug, attention. What is it that that child needs from you? And give the child a gift, a box. What is it that the child is taking out of the box? And what does it represent? Give your child a pet. What would the child like most? A dog, a cat, a bird, a rabbit? And tell that little child that you're aware you may not have always been there for them. And from now on, if there's any time when you're not there, the child will always have a friend in the pet. Go back now over the years, smaller and smaller. 5, 4, 3 years old, 2, 1. Back before you were born. 8 months, 7 months, 6, 5. 12 weeks and fully formed. 7 weeks and you have a heartbeat. Back to 3 months before your conception. Find your mom as she stands in the kitchen doing some dishes or cooking. And notice how young she is. Do you like her? What qualities do you need to inherit from her? Is she intelligent? Does she have a sense of humor? Is she good with people? Is she a hard worker? What of those inherited tendencies will help you this lifetime? Now notice your father as he comes in. How does he approach your mom? How's their relationship? Notice how young your father is. Do you like him? What qualities do you need to inherit from him? And what do you need to learn most? Are you expected or are you going to be a surprise? As you come towards your conception, when 2 cells become 1, 1 becomes 2, then 4. Just before that, perhaps you can remember who you were speaking to just before you were conceived. The story goes that before you're conceived, you speak to a higher council or an angel or a guide. Who might you be speaking with if you were to think you would know? And what's their name? What are they advising you? What is it that you need to learn this lifetime? Why did you need those parents? And did you have a choice of parents? What's the last thing the guide or advisor says to you just before you're conceived? As 2 cells become 1, then 2, then 4, 16. Remind your unconscious mind to reconnect with the blueprint of perfect health and begin to remind every cell in your body of that wonderful, natural, healthy state, transforming and changing now. 7 weeks and you have a heartbeat. 3 months and you're fully formed. 5 months and your mom knows you're there. How does she feel about being pregnant? How do you feel? Do you feel safe? 6 months, 7, 8, beginning to feel the need to come out towards the light as the muscles begin to contract. That's right. Anytime you hear a phone in future, it will remind you that you are loved and you are getting a message from your unconscious mind now. That's right. Ask your unconscious mind to reconnect with the blueprint of perfect health and begin to remind every cell in your body of that wonderful, natural, healthy state, transforming and changing now. That's right. As the muscles begin to contract as you push towards the light, push towards the light. How do you feel? What emotions are present? What's happening? And as you come into the light, who is in the room? Doctors, nurses, a midwife, relatives? And are they caring or simply efficient? As you put in your mom's arms for the first time, how does she feel? How do you feel? Does she make you feel safe and loved or not? And as you put in your dad's arms for the first time, how does he feel? And how do you feel? Who is there who makes you feel loved and wanted? Perhaps it was your grandmother. Experience that feeling of feeling loved as you grow older. Who was there in your childhood who really loved you? Connect with that love inside now and find yourself moving forward now. 1 year old, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back on the beach by the Lake of Dreams. How does that small child feel now, that little 5-year-old you? What's happening? Observe a lady walking towards the child from the trees at the back of the beach. It's your mom as she was when you were 5 years old. Notice how young she is. Observe her kneel down in front of the child. What does the child need to say to her or ask her? What does she say? Know that she did the best she could with what she had available to her at the time. Observe her give the child a gift, a box. What's inside the box? What is the gift and what does it represent? Your mom gives the child a hug and says how much she loves you. Even if she didn't express it, sometimes she loved you. And makes her way to the back of the beach, where her guide, a brother or sister of light, is waiting for her. She has issues and they're not your issues. She has a path to go on and it's not your path. It's time to let her go. Become aware of her smiling, waving, and walking back into the trees at the back of the beach, accompanied by her guide, and then disappear into the trees. There's a man making his way from the trees at the back of the beach towards you. It's your dad as he was when you were 5 years old. Notice how young he is. Observe him kneel down in front of the child. And what does the child need to say to him or ask him? What does he say? Know that he did the best he could with what he had available to him at the time. And observe him give the child a gift, a box. What's inside the box and what does it represent? Your dad gives the child a hug and makes his way to the back of the beach, where his guide, a brother or sister of light, is waiting for him. He has issues and they're not your issues. He has a path to go on and it's not your path. It's time to let him go. Become aware of him waving and walking back into the trees at the back of the beach, accompanied by his guide as he disappears. How does that little child feel now? Take the child's hand or hold the child close to make them feel safe. Because you know where the light is, the origin of your birth as a soul, the place from which you've come, and the place where you'll return. Go ahead and find that place now. Float closer to where that place is now so it becomes you and you become the light, as it's already a very real part of you. There is a guide there, and this guide has a message for you. The guide says, all you have to do to be happy is, that's right. And you may bring the guide with you into any time dimension to heal you and bring you to wholeness now. As you're with the guy, with the little girl or little boy on the beach, leave them with the guide, your guide, and tell them you're going to be with them later. For now, they're being safe and looked after. And I want you to walk on the beach and find a little boat moored by a mooring. Step onto a beautiful wooden pathway and step down into the boat. We're going back to a time before this, a lifetime where you need to learn some lessons. And as you're in the boat, I want you to step in the boat and row the boat across the lake to a beautiful river. It's the river of time, and it has no beginning, it has no end, it simply has direction. And as you row, I want you to start breathing. The breath is going to bring emotions and allow you to free the cells in your body. And the more you breathe, the more you'll experience. And the breath is sucking through your mouth and highing through your mouth. It's a breath that brings your chest up. It's a continuous breath. And as you breathe, your mouth will go a bit dry and you'll go a little bit dizzy because that's oxygen coming into your brain. So it's going to revitalize you beautifully. And the more you breathe, the more you'll experience. So when you're not experiencing, go back to the breathing. Suck in like you're sucking a straw and ha out like you're just hawing a piece of glass to blow some, to fog up a piece of glass. Breathe as you row. And as you come to the other side of the lake, you'll see that river. It goes to the left into the future, as far as you can go into the future. And it goes to the right, back into the past. We're going to the right, back into the past, to a lifetime before this that has special significance for you. And as you row back down the river of time, you'll see different scenes on either side of the river. You'll see lakes and valleys. You'll see deserts and forests. You'll see towns and villages and places that are uninhabited. And in every one of them, you'll see people waving at you. These are people you've met before and people you're going to know again. And as you row, feel the breeze on your hair and the sun on your face as you breathe. That's right. Feel the boat pulling into the right or into the left of the river. And as you step out of the boat, become aware that you feel different somehow. And as you stand in front of an archway, it's the archway of time. And on that archway, there's a country written. The first country that comes into your head is, and the year or century is, that's right. Step down into that year in that country, down 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at the bottom of the steps, look to see what you're wearing on your feet. Sandals, shoes, bare feet. And what are you wearing on your body? Loose clothes, tight clothes. Are you a male or a female? And as you walk along a pathway towards where you sleep at night, find yourself looking around you at the scenery. Do you live in a village or in a town? Do you live in the countryside? And as you take that path and walk down the path to where you live and where you sleep, you come up to the dwelling. Is it an apartment? Is it a hut? Is it a beautiful palace? Is it a church? Is it a religious place? Go ahead and find yourself walking up to the front door. Does it have windows? Is it a big building or is it small? And you'll find the door being open as you arrive there. Who's greeting you as you walk into the house? A servant, a family member, a husband or a wife or a child? And as you look at this person, notice their eyes. Does it remind you of someone from this lifetime? And who is that? Do you have the same relationship with them that time as you do this time? And as you walk into the house, what kind of furniture is there? Is it rich? Is it plain wood? What's on the floor? Is it stone or rugs or something like rushes? And go into the house and find where you sleep at night. Do you sleep with someone else? Do you sleep by yourself? Do you sleep with a group of people? As in a hall. And who else lives with you there? How many people are in the house or dwelling? So knowing the age you came in, add 10 years to that age. And find out if you're still living in the same place. Or is it different? What work do you do now? Do you enjoy the work? Is it something you chose to do? Is it something you have to do? Or do you not need to work? And find out if you're married or if you're single. And if you're married, did you choose to be married? Did you love the person or was it the marriage arranged? And if it was arranged, is it a good marriage? How's your body? Are you well? Do you look after your body? Now go ahead and go 10 years ahead of that. Add 20 years to the original age you came in. And what's happening now? What significant event is happening now? If you've died, you'll kind of be in a gray area, so please wait to catch us up. And you'll find yourself in a marketplace. And as you walk through the marketplace, are you selling or are you buying? And you hear someone call your name out. What's the name they're calling? And as you turn around to talk to the person, is it someone you know well or someone you're acquainted with? How many people love you that lifetime? How good are you in relationships? Did you teach people? Did you care for people? Did you look after them? Or were you lonely or isolated or didn't know what you had to do? Can you read and write? Go forward to your death that lifetime. How old are you? And what do you die from? And I want you to go to your funeral and find how many people are there. Who finds you when you die? And as you go to your funeral, are there many people there? And the people there, are they saying nice things about you or are they just being polite? Are you surprised at how many people are there? And as you walk away from that lifetime, stand there and think about what you did well that lifetime. And can you repeat that this lifetime? And now think about what you didn't do so well, or you could have done better, or could you have made different choices? Can you make different choices this lifetime too? Go back to the breathing. And go up the 5 steps towards the archway. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And stand beneath the archway and feel the most beautiful white light enter through the top of your head, cleansing and healing every part of that lifetime, clearing all the old beliefs and negative emotions, preserving the positive lessons for your health and benefit. Feel every cell alive and tingling and renewed. And then find yourself stepping back into the boat and row back or forward, up or down the river of time, searching for the next lifetime. You're also searching for someone you know this lifetime who you would like to know what relationship you have. So as you walk, as you row up or down, breathing, go ahead and see if you can spot the person you came to see on the beach waving at you. Find yourself stepping off the boat with that person and walk up to the archway, gleaming white in the morning sun. And as you stand in front of the archway, watch that person go down through the steps into that lifetime. And look at the archway and find out what country is there. The first country that comes into your head is, and the year or century is. Go ahead and go down the 5 steps into that country at that time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And at the bottom of the steps, find out what you're wearing on your feet. Sandals, shoes, slippers, boots, nothing. What are you wearing on your legs and your body? Are you a male or a female? What's your hair like? Is it bound up or is it hidden or is it on display? And as you walk along towards where you sleep at night, towards your dwelling where you live, find yourself observing the scenery and what time of year it is. Spring, summer, autumn, winter? Or does it not have a time of year because it's always sunny? Or does it not have a time of year because it's always cold? What scenery is around? What vegetation is around? And as you walk towards your dwelling, are you in a town or a village or the countryside? Are there many people there or are you fairly isolated? Walk up to the front door. And the door is opened by someone. And as you walk in and say hi to them, hello, do you recognize that person from this lifetime? Or is it someone you've not yet met? Walk around the home of the dwelling and have a look at the furniture and what's in there. Is it big, small? And find where you sleep at night. Is it a pallet on the floor? Is it a bed? Is it just sleeping on rushes? How many people are in the house? How many people live there? Do you have servants or do you work and do the work yourself? Are you single or married? Or are you in a family? Or living by yourself? Add 10 years to the year you came in. How old you were when you first came in? How old were you? And now add 10 years to it. And what work are you doing? Can you read and write? Do you work in the fields? Do you work in writing or drawing or painting? Are you an artisan? Are you artistic and creative? What skill sets do you have? And are those the same skill sets you have now, or could you explore those? And as you go forward that 10 years, who loves you the most that lifetime? Or is nobody who loves you? Who is it who you feel close to? And as you think of that person, how are they related to you? A friend, a husband or wife, a child, mother or father? And as you think about that person, who does it remind you of from this present lifetime? The first person that comes into your head is? That's right. And now as you leave the dwelling, go into the marketplace and find out, are you buying or are you selling? Are you happy or not happy? Are you still living in the same place or have you changed places? Have you traveled or have you stayed in the same place? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? What is it that you're doing well? And what is it that you could do better or differently? Do you have children that lifetime? And are you a good parent if you do? And do the children remind you of anybody this lifetime, from this lifetime? Is there anybody who's close to you that lifetime who you recognize from now? Go back to the breathing. And find yourself going forward to your moment of dying. Is there anybody with you when you die, or do you die by yourself? And how old are you when you die? First age that comes into your head is? And what do you die from? And as you go to your funeral, how many people are there? And who's upset to see you go? And who's being polite? And who really, really is going to miss you? And as you look back at that life, what did you do that you were proud of? Did you teach? Did you make money? Did you help people? Were you a wonderful social soul? Did you make a difference? And what didn't you do well? Relationships, career, helping yourself to be empowered? What is it that you didn't do well that lifetime that you can change this lifetime or have already changed? Find yourself walking back up towards the steps. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go up the steps and stand beneath that beautiful archway. And feel that beautiful light enter through the top of your head, cleansing and healing your whole body from that lifetime. Preserving the positive lessons while letting go of what doesn't work. And as you feel that cleansing, healing experience, feel how relaxed you are. And feel how happy you are that you have a chance to make a difference and make it different. Step back into the boat and begin to row back towards the Lake of Dreams. And as you row, begin the breathing. That's right. And find yourself pulling up to the shore. And the little 5-year-old you is standing there with the pet and the gift, jumping up and down, happy to see you. And as you step out of the boat, give that 5-year-old you a hug and tell them how much you love them and how much you're going to be there for her or him this from now on. The child gives you a gift. Open the box and notice what's inside it and what significance it has. And you'll find that little child running along the beach. Run after them and feel the sun on your face, the breeze in your hair, and feel how light and free you feel as you find a pool of water with a fountain. And you can dance and laugh and play in the fountain with that child. And just realize how much fun it is to be young again, to be free again. That's right. Hear the laughter and hear the joy. And then step out of the pool and walk along the beach. Feel the sun dry your body and feel yourself completely relaxed. That's right. Good. And coming back into the body, back into the room as I count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into the body, back into the room, feeling as though you've had the most amazing night's sleep. Open your eyes, ready to start your brand new life and have a wonderful time. Good. Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Thank you.
Interesting journey, huh? Is there any, I'm not going to go through everybody's past lives because we're at 3:45 and I know it's been a long day, but for me, a really gratifying day. Thank you all very, very much for being so in with me. It's great. Did you enjoy it? Yeah. You'll feel a bit spacey, actually. So we're not going to have too much conversation. Does anybody have a question about one of the lives that we're in? I don't want details. I just want an odd question that's I couldn't understand why something. Did you all get the idea that what you needed? Yes. So what I suggest you do now is write it down. Write the 2 lifetimes down as fast as you can. Because once you've learned the lessons, you forget. The unkind mind doesn't need to keep it anymore. So write down again just the way we did it with country, how old I was, etc., etc. And then you've got it for reference. I went through so many past lives that I ended up going to Stone Age times all the time. And I realized I was working on humanities issues and not mine. I was like, okay, we're done with past life. I'm finished. I taught it for 15 years at the Learning Annex in Toronto. Big groups of 25 people. So the breathing techniques really help you to get the emotions up. Okay. And did anybody have an interesting experience with their parents? Because what that does is it actually gives you an idea of your parents as people, not as just being your mom and dad, but as real people who were there before you arrived. Okay. Did anybody have any surprises about their parents, about liking them a lot or not liking them a lot?
I found I saw my parents interacting more, and I didn't see that because my dad passed when I was very young. So I found them they were like a kiss and hug a little bit. So yeah, so that was and they were in my second lifetime that I went back, and they were living with me. And as a family, but a big house, lots of money, and they were there helping with the family. And
yeah.
So it was really nice.
Yeah, good. It literally, especially if someone has a young deaf parent, it's lovely going back and remembering them because you do have the memories there. They're still there. Right. Very good. Well done, Gwen. Awesome. Anyone else?
For my mom, Dr. Vaughn, I've had struggles with my mom, but in my past life and in going through this process, nothing was supercharged. We just loved each other. It was really nice. We were hugging and it was a really nice experience.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I find when you go through the birth process and you're in your mom's arms for the first time, no matter what she's been like this lifetime, you feel that love at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. And I find quite often when you put in your dad's arms, the dad has a huge sense of responsibility. like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? It's like the mom usually does that connection, that bonding thing. The dad's like, what do I do with this? I have no idea what to do with this. And now I'm responsible. Now I have to earn more money. And it's very interesting. What I do when I'm doing a one-on-one with a past life regression, I will go through that process 2 times until we get to be excited. And then you feel the love from both. It's like we have to basically clear away our preconceptions, limiting beliefs, and come back to that core self, which is pure love.
Yeah.
And you can accept that your parents' fault's a lot better, I think, when you realize that they did their best. Nothing, and you chose them, remember, right? Did anybody find they had a choice of parents? No? That's super interesting when you get that, yes? Is that many?
I didn't find I had a choice of parents, but what I finally did feel is a peace with my dad, you know,
Nice.
and the gift, you know, my dad is a super smart man and super successful. And it was like the resistance that I have towards him really melted away because I understood him when he held me, and
Yes.
I understood what his drive in life was, right?
Yeah. And look at how driven you are. You learned
Yeah.
a lot from him. You needed that, right? Because in previous lifetimes, you didn't have that drive. You had that, you know. So yeah, we choose our parents exactly because they need to give us the lessons we do. Here's the thing that I find about it is that when you know you choose your parents, you can no longer call yourself a victim. You can clear the stuff around them. And, you know, I still get people in the 60s saying it was all my mother's fault or it was all my father's fault. It wasn't. You chose them. You needed them. You needed that DNA at the very least, or you needed their behaviors so that you could change your behaviors. If you're still hanging on to it's them or it's not me, you've not owned what you came here to learn. Right? Fabulous job, everybody. I'm so proud of you all. I'm going to get this edited quite a lot. And I'll actually edit it into 2 pieces. So we've got the past life regression and we've got the numerology separately. And you can study again and just go and have a go with everybody. With the past life regression, I can send you the script if you like. You can do it on it, but it's actually much easier just to listen to it yourself on the MP3.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would love a copy of the past, like the one you just did now, because
Yeah.
to do that on clients. So it was so good.
I'll do that. I'll send you. You've got the inner child, so I'll do the past life. I'll the past life one. Okay.
Could I have it in script as well?
I'll send it to everybody. What the heck? You know me, everything's free. It's like whatever. But well done, everybody. I thoroughly enjoyed today. Hope you all did.
Yeah.
Yes,
And-
thank you so much.
And I'll be editing this and I'll be sending it out and I may be selling it in future. So if you don't want to be included, let me know. So I'll cut you out. Right. But I think we had some really, really relevant experiences for everybody. To me, whoever watches this is going to learn so much about themselves as well. I think it's a brilliant, and all of us being teachers, let's just teach the world. All right. Fabulous.
Okay,
Okay,
well, I love you all. It was so nice to meet you all as
Nice
well.
to meet you all. Thanks for sharing you with me.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Exactly. What I'll do when I send this out, I'll send the emails out. I'll put emails in. I blind copied the first lot. This time I'll send it so that you get each other's emails.
It'd be nice.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you.
And then you can contact each other and say, what's your phone number? Let's have a chat. Let's do. And you can kind of practice on each other numerologically and things like that. So yeah.
Cool.
Fabulous. Well, I think we all did great. I'm super
Very
happy with
good.
the questions. You did great, guys. And I'll
Thank
see you in October. In October, I'm teaching hypnosis and palmistry. I'm teaching a palmistry weekend in hypnosis in Toronto. I think it's the 18th, 19th of October or something. And then I'm going to be doing a 4-day hypnosis training. And I've not done a hypnosis training in a few years. It's only $995. It's usually nearly $2,000. So it's a real good deal. So yeah, let me know if you want that. And I'll be teaching the Masters NLP in November.
Perfect.
Okay.
Super.
Awesome. Thanks, Yvonne.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr. Yvonne.
Bye.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.